Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Green Flag. I'm your host, Lukas Wacker, and with me, as always, we have Kyle Cushman. And welcome to another special edition of the Green Flag. We've got another fun one in store for you guys today. We're going to be testing our knowledge on NASCAR, a little bit similar to what we did last week with the tier maker for the NASCAR Cup Series tracks on how well they stand up against each other in the current 2021 schedule that we have for this season. But for this episode, we've got some trivia that we're going to be getting tested on. We're going to see who knows NASCAR best. But we're going to be working together on this. We're not going to go 1v1. I think that would be a little bit too unfair. But we've got a fun one in store today. We'll see who knows what, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see what kind of questions we have in store for some of these quizzes, and that's going to happen later on in today's episode. But we got some news and notes to get to before all that, and before we get into all of that, Kyle, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Unfortunate Leafs news this week, so not great in that regard, as opposed to earlier episodes where I was doing great because of it. But yes. No, doing good. Excited for this one. Excited to be on the same team for this because I know pretty confidently at least that if we were going head-to-head, you would kick my ass. But that's okay. We're on the same team for this. We're gonna see if we can maybe tackle some tough ones. We'll see what we kind of get for that. But excited for this one, and we got some fun little bits of news as well to talk about.
Yes, we do. Of course, we got Daytona 500 news, and what better way to start off today's episode than the Great American Race that is only 23 days away now. It is getting close, Kyle. Cannot wait for the green flag to drop
basically
on that.
3 weeks.
Yeah, basically. We're recording this on the Friday, so Sunday, it's getting close, and we got the Rolex 24 to get into before that as well.
We're 3 weeks away from a race at Daytona in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Which is nuts to say.
And we're 1 week away from a regular race at Daytona as well.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting stuff on the Daytona 500 things, and we can start off with that today as Austin Cindric, the Xfinity Series champion from 2020, is going to attempt to make his Cup Series debut for Team Penske. This was outlined before when they made the announcement that he's going to be stepping up in 2022 to Team Penske, or to Wood Brothers, I guess, to the number 21 car with Matt Benedetto on a 1-year contract this upcoming season. But Cindric is going to be doing some part-time stuff for Team Penske out of the big organization for this upcoming season, and it's going to be in the number 33. It's an open entry, so he's going to have to try and qualify and make his way into the race through the duels or through speed on qualifying, which we'll talk about in a second as well when that is. But Austin Cindric, very, very exciting stuff here. Proved himself last season with getting 6 wins en route to the Xfinity Series Championship, beating out the likes of Chase Briscoe, Justin Allgaier, Justin Haley, and Noah Gragson, and all these guys throughout the playoffs. And he came out victorious. A very triumphant season. Make the most of your opportunity worth season for Austin Cindric last year. He's going to have the opportunity to do it on the big stage this upcoming season, and hopefully is going to make his Cup Series debut in the Daytona 500. And once again, this adds another entry to the Daytona 500 field. 44 cars is expected to be attempting to qualify for this race, and 4 of those guys are going to have to go home. And it's going to be making the duels very, very interesting for the first time, it seems, quite some time. I'm not going to lie, I watched the 2007 duels last night because I was looking for some interesting inspiration behind some of this. And we had Brian Vickers. You had a whole bunch of these other big name teams that were just trying to make their way into the 500. And there were some big ones that missed that year, and it's crazy to think that now we're kind of maybe getting somewhere similar to that with some of these big names, and Austin Cindric is definitely one to keep your eye on for the Daytona duels that is going to be happening in just a couple of weeks' time. So what do you make of the news here, Kyle? Austin Cindric making his widely anticipated hopeful Cup Series debut.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We've seen we haven't seen a team such as Penske enter an open car in quite some time. This is some exciting stuff. We usually don't see some of the big name teams enter an extra car anymore because of the 4-car cap. Of course, Penske, they only have 3, so if they want to enter that extra one, they still have the ability to do so, even without the charter. So we'll see Austin Cindric, as we expected, multiple times this season. But the fact that we're getting an extra entry from Penske in the 500 is something that I don't think a lot of us maybe anticipated, because it would have been easy for Penske to look at the schedule and go, okay, there's going to be the most competition to qualify for this race, so we might as well just push that one aside, don't even worry about it, and focus on 5, 6, 7, 8 other races during the season for Cindric to get a taste of before he goes full-time into next season. But for the sake of entertainment, I'm super, super excited for this because you're entering another super, super high quality car there in the 33. And also wasn't expecting the 33 to be the number.
Weird number.
That was very weird. I was expecting like the 02 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I got to say, I'm very excited for this. And yeah, as you mentioned, there's going to be some notable names missing the show this year because when you look at open entries expected for the Daytona 500, you've got Ryan Preece, who we believe is running open this season. It's not been confirmed or anything, but it seems like that's the case.
Yeah.
But then you've got Noah Gragson with Beard Motorsports, Kaz Gralla with Colleague, David Reagan running the open entry for front row this year rather than the alliance with Spire last year like they had. You've got other ones like Gaunt Brothers with Ty Dillon there as well. So you've got some notable names that are going to miss the show because, as you mentioned there, 2 make it in on qualifying speed and then another 2 make it in through the duels. So there's not a lot of room to make it into the show with just those 4 opportunities. And hopefully we see some of these big names make it through. Hopefully there isn't anything to worry about for guys like Austin Cindric with that Penske entry. But again, you never know. If you show up on qualifying day and something goes wrong or you're off a little bit on speed, you're not in that top 2 because it is just those top 2 positions that make it in on the qualifying speed. You go to the duels and anything can happen there. We saw that happen last year with Gaunt Brothers, who was by far the best open entry all season long, but they missed the first race of the season because they crashed in the duels. So it's shaping up to be a very, very interesting couple of races there with the duels, something that we haven't seen for a while. And Austin Cindric is just another name to add to that bunch.
Yeah, for sure. The number 33, once again, it's just an odd number for a team Penske. I think 33, I think of Richard Childress because that's what Austin Dillon kind of made his debuts in when he was kind of doing that part-time stuff for that organization before moving up to the Cup Series full-time. So very, very excited for Austin Cindric to make his Cup Series debut. Adding another 4 to the mix as well, hopefully on race day. It's just overpowering. That entire manufacturer stable that they have over there is just phenomenal on the super speedway tracks. You've got Stewart-Haas Racing, Team Penske. They just rule these places, it seems, for a large majority of them. Cindric isn't necessarily...
front row as well is always a sneaky contender.
As well, yeah. And Austin Cindric isn't necessarily known for his super speedway prowess. I'd say that compared to some other drivers, but this is going to be a good learning opportunity for him if he can make the show. They're going to definitely be the one to watch in the open entries in terms of speed because they've got a Team Penske alliance there. It's going to be out of that stable, so you'd imagine them to make the show on speed, but if they don't, it always comes up and there's always risks happening. There's always something that could happen in the duels that could take somebody out, and hopefully that's not the case for Austin Cindric. We don't want to wish that upon anybody, but 4 drivers at least are going to be missing the Daytona 500, and we don't know until that checker flag drops on the second duel who those 4 drivers will be. But congratulations to Austin Cindric on getting this announced. It was widely speculated that it was going to happen, and now they can focus on the 500 here, focus on the duels, and get underway for the season. Miles Stanley as well will be the crew chief for Austin Cindric for the select races that he runs this season. He's normally an engineer for Ryan Blaney, but when Cindric is running, he's going to be taking over the crew chief roles for Cindric. So potential maybe future pairing there. We'll see. Maybe if they switch over to Wood Brothers, if the chemistry clicks and they have good results this season, we'll see what happens in 2022 when he takes over at Wood Brothers. It just blows my mind, to be honest, still that Penske doesn't have 4 full-time cars when they are such a premier organization in the sport. And, you know, Matt DiBenedetto is going to get kicked off to the curb here in the offseason. We'll see where he ends up in 2022. Maybe they open up that 4th Penske entry for someone like DiBenedetto. We don't know. But it is a bit of a shame that Roger Penske putting so much into the sport. He's got premier talent, Logano, Keselowski, Blaney, and he doesn't have that 4th car that the big motorsports and the big teams have. It is a little bit of a shame on that front, but at least we're getting that for this one-off race for the Daytona 500 and for select races throughout the season. So any final thoughts for Austin Cindric's move to the Cup Series here for the 500?
Yeah, it's just extremely exciting because, as you mentioned, he's not necessarily known for his super speedway racing, but he's still a pretty solid super speedway racer, and we see him consistently in the Xfinity Series up at the front, usually right behind or right in front of Chase Briscoe. So I wonder if we maybe see those 2 link up again if Cindric's able to make it through to the show. But if that is the case, it's going to be very exciting to see both of those guys make their Cup Series debut in the 500.
If we have a lot of Cup Series debuts in the 500, it's going to be a very inexperienced field as well. So that could lend itself to some incidents maybe in the 500.
Well, yeah, if you look at the list, you've got Alfredo, Briscoe, Cindric,
maybe Gregson, potentially.
Gralla if he makes the show as well.
Yeah.
So
You got some
you've
interesting
got a
ones.
handful of names there, yeah.
Yeah.
And those are some cars with some speed as well. So
Yeah, well, I mean, the super speedway package already is insane. So adding in a couple of rookies trying to impress in their debuts, I'm sure we're going to get some excitement no matter what in the 500. So I'm very, very excited for this 500 lineup. But we've got all the things are there for it to be a successful race, a great race to lead off to Fox's promo of this being the best season of all time. Hopefully that is the case. We would love to talk about the best season of all time. But yeah, very, very excited for Austin Cindric to make hopefully his Cup Series debut in the 500 in a couple of weeks' time. We move on here to AJ Allmendinger making his return to the Cup Series for Colleague Racing in the number 16 car for the second race of the season at the Daytona Road Course. So something that we've talked about on this show a little bit, where they could poach some of their Xfinity Series full-time drivers and put them in the Colleague Racing entry in the Cup Series on their part-time schedule, most likely on the road courses and the super speedway tracks. We've got Kaz Gralla in the Cup Series ride for the Daytona 500, as Kyle just said. And we've got AJ Allmendinger returning to the Cup Series. A very potent, very well-known road course racing driver is going to try and go into the Cup Series here at the Daytona Road Course. Most likely won't be having a problem qualifying for this race, to be honest. He should be able to make it in. And AJ Allmendinger is definitely maybe a fantasy sleeper in that race, dare I say. When it comes time, we'll see. But AJ Allmendinger, very, very excited to say that he's going to be making his return to the Cup Series. And most likely this is not the last time we'll be seeing AJ Allmendinger in the Cup Series this season. Most likely we'll see him at the other road courses, whatever they decide to run. It's a great benchmark. You wouldn't really want a better guy in that car for road course racing to know the baseline setup and get used to what they can improve on for the future. So very, very excited for AJ Allmendinger to return to the Cup Series at the Daytona Road Course, Kyle.
Yeah, it's super exciting as well. And it's something where we don't know what to expect from the team because we've only seen them in one Cup Series race, and that was at a super speedway, obviously, last year's Daytona 500 with Justin Haley. We don't know what to expect from this team at any other racetrack. So you can do a hell of a lot worse than AJ Allmendinger at a road course. We've seen it time and time again with Colleague in the Xfinity Series. He's one of the best in the sport at that discipline, and having him step up to the Cup Series once again with that team is going to be great, both just in terms of this season and what they're able to do in kind of their part-time schedule, but especially so long-term and getting the footing in the Cup Series this season, understanding what they need to do. He's got the experience in the Cup Series. He's got the prowess at that track and that discipline, I should say. So I'm very excited to see Allmendinger back in the Cup Series. As you mentioned, definitely a fantasy sleeper potentially there, because not only is he a fantastic driver, but we don't know what equipment it's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be like Spire, and even if you're a fantastic road course racer, you're not going to do better than like 25th. We don't know if it's going to be like JTG and he's got a chance to go out and get a top 10, top 5. So yeah, I'm extremely excited to see him back in the Cup Series. We've seen him make for some extremely entertaining moments in the Xfinity Series on road courses just last season alone even. Yeah. So very excited to see AJ back in the Cup Series this year.
Yeah, I think with the way the rules work, he will have to start at the back for that race because there is no qualifying for the road course, if I'm not mistaken. So
I don't remember what the setups are and whatnot for those, but
I think if
even with the stages, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, from the week-to-week thing, though, I think he will have to start at the back. So we'll see if AJ can make his way through the field in his Cup Series return. I can't wait for him to make it. I mean, I hope he comes full-time when Colleague comes full-time in 2022, to be honest, because I think he's a great personality and a great entertainment guy that's both on and off the track. Yeah. And very, very enticed by this move for Colleague. It was going to be happening no matter what, really, this season. It was probably the worst kept secret right now in motorsports that AJ Allmendinger will be running that race. But,
I mean, he's 39. It's statistically the best year of a stock car driver's career. So, I mean, you could do worse.
That's definitely the case here. AJ Allmendinger going to be one we'll talk about, I'm sure, as the weeks go on.
Yeah,
here.
we will.
As we get closer to the Daytona road course when he makes his return to the Cup Series. We can move on to the next part here quickly here on the NASCAR Cup Series side of things. Nashville's Cup Series race at the Nashville Super Speedway has a title sponsored for it, the Ally 400. You know, Ally has just become such an integral part of motorsports these past couple of seasons. You know, I never heard of them before Jimmy Johnson picked them up as a full-time sponsor, and now they're every which way you look, they are there on some sort of billboard, some sort of sign, some sort of car. But it's great to see that we have such a great investment from Ally, a great partner for the sport here, and it seems like that's going to be the case for years to come. And a side note on Ally, a very sporty looking Rolex 24 paint scheme for Jimmy Johnson.
So good. Early contender for livery or paint scheme of the year.
Potential. Yeah, there is definitely potential there. The purple and pink colors, man, it's just so nice. Good. So different. It's such great contrast to the white. They realize white looks better with those colors than the black after a couple of seasons of missed opportunities with Jimmy Johnson. But yeah, I'm very, very excited. Happy to see that they've got a sponsor filled out for the Nashville Super Speedway race. I did see in the press conference as well, they haven't determined the trophy yet. Let's not forget that they had the iconic old guitar, the Nashville guitar that Kyle Busch famously destroyed in Victory Lane when he smashed it.
I'm not even going to touch that one.
Guitar slam. That is definitely a moment I definitely disagree with Kyle on. There are a few of those, and that is definitely one of them. That being Kyle Busch, I disagree with on that decision making. So, yeah, I hope they kind of go back to the guitar, but as long as you don't see it getting smashed, I would like to see it stay in one piece. I think
it would be awesome to see that come back.
It's like the jukebox that we had. I forget which race it was. It might have been in Kentucky or something like that. They had a jukebox for the race winner. But yeah, there's some pretty cool trophies.
For Nashville. It's such a cool design, and yeah, I hope they bring it back. But we'll see.
We'll see. This is some pretty big news. I think we can move on to here, Kyle. NBC and NBCSN, NBC's sports network, is shutting down at the end of this season. The kind of a big bombshell that happened this morning on the sport media industry side of things. This isn't just NASCAR restricted. This is across the board here for all the sports they air on that network. It's going to be closing down, which means NASCAR's NBCSN content that they're going to be they originally had planned for later on in the season when NBC takes over midway through the year. It's going to be moving to USA Network, it seems. When that happens, what day that is, we'll see. But NBCSN is going to be no more for the NASCAR side of things. It's going to be moving over to USA Network. So a bit of an interesting one. I hadn't really heard the rumors of this as much as you did, but it is definitely a bombshell across sports media because you got hockey, NHL on there quite often, teeing up the NASCAR race. They have a bunch of different sports on that network. And this leaving is going to leave a massive hole kind of for these broadcasters and these leagues to try and fill their gaps and try and find a new broadcasting partner or a different channel for them to air their respective series or sport or game or whatever it may be. I mean, it does make sense in the traditional sense or what NBC's kind of platform is going towards with Peacock and how they're trying to move towards the streaming platform and that subscription-based kind of programming that we're seeing, that we're becoming more and more accustomed to by the day, it seems. This does make sense in that form of it. But for the likes of NASCAR that go late on into the year towards November, into mid-November, that is, this will most likely mean that at some point in time, we're going to see some USA Network stuff. So a new graphics package potentially maybe along the line here in terms of having to promo different things with USA Network. So very, very interesting news. I don't know what to feel about it, but what are your thoughts on the decision by NBC?
Yeah, there's been some rumors about it for a while, but I always thought that it was maybe something that if it were to happen, we wouldn't see it for still a little bit. But yeah, absolute bombshell in the sport media world, because when you look at things, NBCSN was essentially the number 2 sports network in America last year, and just for a while, really, because it goes ESPN, obviously, number 1. But then after that, NBCSN had more stuff than FS1 did. And it's kind of insane to say that at the end of the year, it'll be no more. It seems like the way that they'll go about it is that the races or anything like that involving NASCAR that will air on USA Network later this year won't be exclusively on USA Network. It'll be simulcast. So it's almost like a getting people ready for the switch. So it's not just all of a sudden one day you're used to going to NBCSN for whatever it is that you're looking to consume as a fan. And then all of a sudden it's not there and you don't know where it is. It seems like that's probably the direction they'll go as the year goes on. And then as we get closer and closer to the end of 2021, we'll see more and more stuff on USA Network. But yeah, it's crazy. NBCSN had tons of stuff on their network, not just NASCAR, but tons of NHL stuff, IndyCar as well. Even though IndyCar already has had a bit of a base on their streaming stuff on Peacock and whatnot. So at least IndyCar fans will at least be familiar with some of the other stuff. But Premier League, World Cup, MLS, Olympic stuff, all of that has been on NBCSN at times. So it's a huge bombshell in the sport media world. I don't know what it means long-term for certain things. I don't know what it means for different TV contracts or anything like that, but a huge news coming down, not necessarily in terms of what impacts NASCAR immediately, but if you're looking forwards, one of the big draws for NBC, that is, when it comes to TV contracts with sports and and everything like that, is they have the huge main network, but they also have a dedicated sports network that you can also go to. And that's what attracted NHL. That's what attracts NASCAR. That not being there anymore is going to be a big blow for NBC going forwards in terms of any kind of sports contracts that they're going to look to get, because instead of having that sports only network that you can also go on, now you're sharing time with reruns of different sitcoms and shows and all that kind of stuff. And that's not a great look for all these leagues. So long term, I don't know what it means for NBC and different contracts and everything like that. But yeah, it seems like by the end of the year, we'll be no more NBCSN switchovers or anything like that.
Yeah, for us as Canadians, I mean, it'll probably just be
it'll be the same for us, but
typical for TSN. We just watch the races on them. But yeah, on the contract side of things, it does leave some people to speculate a little bit on what could be on the future for NBC or what for NASCAR specifically, because this is a racing show. What kind of TV contract they're going to look to past this next one. I believe this one's up in 2024, 2026. I'm not 100% sure.
I think 24, but I could be wrong. Yeah.
Around that time, if I'm not mistaken. So for that, it's not too far away. They start to get into discussions about a year and a half prior to when the deal usually comes out. So that's a huge kind of talking point, a huge draw to NASCAR and vice versa for NBC to NASCAR, that they have a dedicated sport network that they can put qualifying, practice whenever that comes back. I know that that's not really on the calendar for right now, but NBCSN showcases the Xfinity Series all the time as well. So it does leave a lot to kind of be speculated on what they want to do in the future. Does somebody, I don't imagine ESPN coming back and taking the NASCAR rights by any means, because they basically just dropped all motorsports in the US, but ABC potentially, who knows, maybe they can make a comeback. CBS, they're doing some stuff with the SRX stuff right now, so maybe they think there's a future there with NASCAR down the line. I mean, there's a lot to be had. Fox, do they want to take maybe it full time? I don't believe that they would want to, but because it was speculated that
I'm not sure NASCAR would want to either.
If anybody would be leaving, it would be Fox, but maybe now it's kind of shifted a little bit in roles. Maybe NBC is the one closer on the way out than Fox, but there is a lot of different things that could be happening in the future that is in terms of the broadcasting side of things, who we want to be calling the races. So I know who we want to be calling the races. We could do something on that probably. That's pretty quick on what the changes we would make to the sport for the broadcasting side of things. But yeah, it's a very fascinating kind of storyline. We don't see this very often, where just a major network like this just drops everything in terms of sports so quickly. It's not like it just, by the end of this year, I know it's only in January, but in 12 months time, NBCSN is going to be no more, basically. So definitely a storyline to keep your eye on, not just for this season, but for the years to come afterwards. What kind of decision this has, what kind of impact this has on the future contract discussions for TV rights. So I just had to touch on that because it is an important stuff as sport media students ourselves. It does not just affect just NASCAR, but it does affect everything that we watch on a regular basis. So do you have anything else to kind of add to that, NBCSN?
Yeah, just finally here, this doesn't mean NBC is done with sports or anything like that, or they have less interest in sports. It's a money thing. They have another network that they're able to throw it onto. They didn't find the need in terms of the amount of money it was costing to keep NBCSN around when they have other options to do it, which fair enough. But what this means long term, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe it means if NBC wants to stay in the game, they have to air more things on the main network. Maybe that's something that comes down the road. But at least for now, it's some tough news in the sport media landscape, because anytime you lose a major network like that, it's a big blow. There's a lot of people losing jobs. So going to be interesting to follow the fallout from this as the year goes on and see how things change. As you mentioned, maybe there's some changes that need to be made in terms of graphics. I would guess that they just slapped a different logo on it. But we'll see what happens down the road here. And yeah, this is definitely not going to be a story on the forefront as the season goes along, because obviously we'll be paying attention to the races themselves and everything, but definitely something to remember on the back burner and see if there's anything that changes as the year goes along.
For sure. One last thing on the NASCAR Cup Series side of things in terms of news. We know when Daytona 500 qualifying is going to be taking place tentatively for right now. So we've got the Clash on the Tuesday, and then we have, the duels on the Thursday. But we have a day in between that, and that is the Wednesday. And we know now that Daytona 500 qualifying is going to be taking place on Wednesday night under the lights at Daytona, February 10th. That is at tentatively 7 p.m. Eastern. That is subject to change, but for right now it is 7 p.m. Eastern, so 4 p.m. for myself, 7 p.m. for you, Kyle. Very, very interesting to see Daytona 500 qualifying typically on the Sunday before the race, that is the Great American Race, the 500, but it is now going to be only about 4 days, I guess it is, 4 or 5 days before the 500 itself. So under the lights as well, that's the biggest thing. We're going to see the sparks fly and the cars dragging the track as much as they can to try and get it as low as possible in the air. Very, very excited to see how this all kind of pans out. Maybe they can get some Wednesday night midweek viewership. Sunday is usually the big day for the Daytona 500 qualifying. It kind of marks the beginning of speed weeks in some sense, but they're having just a speed week this year, which is the Clash, then going straight into the 500 qualifying, and then the duels on Thursday before we get into the trucks on the Friday, Xfinity on the Saturday, and then the Cup Series race on Sunday. It's going to be madness. I mean, I don't know how we're going to be able to keep track of all of it, but we will find a way to watch NASCAR in its return. So what do you make of the newly named scheduled date for the Daytona 500 qualifying?
Yeah, when they announced that they were turning speed weeks into speed week, and barely week at that, because it basically starts on the Tuesday and then goes through the Sunday there, I was a bit apprehensive. I was a little bit concerned that it would be a little squishing too much stuff together. But when I see how this kind of plays out, and you look at the scheduling, you've got the Super Bowl on Sunday, you've got a day off on the Monday, and then you've got Clash, qualifying, duels, races. So there's a day off between the Super Bowl and the start of Speed Week, and then there's something every single night. And when you look at how things will go for that and for ad space and all that kind of stuff, kind of makes a lot of sense there when you think about the promotion aspect of it, and your big selling point is going into the Super Bowl because it's right afterwards. So if you're going to grab anybody's attention to check it out, you might as well do so at the biggest sporting event of the year. So Super Bowl happens. I would imagine there's got to be another big advertisement. We saw it last year at the Super Bowl. We see it every year at the Super Bowl. But unlike some years past where it's kind of like day off something, there's the Monday off. But if you've caught somebody's attention, you've got an actual race on the Tuesday night. And then you've got qualifying for the Daytona 500, which is a marquee event. And then you've got more racing on the Thursday, and then you've got official races the rest of the way. So, I was a bit concerned at the beginning when they announced things that it would be too squished together. But when I see how things have laid out here, I'm optimistic going into things. It may feel too squished together coming out of it, and by the end of the 500, it might be like a drained feeling. Like, okay, it's like 6 straight days or whatever. Yeah. Like we've had a lot here, but I'm excited going into this because it's going to be something every single day.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have so much to talk about. It's going to be
We might have to do 3 shows that week.
We may have to. It's just going to be nuts. But, I mean, it is like the best week in motorsports for NASCAR. It's just the start of the season, its biggest race, and they're definitely starting with a bang in terms of how they're scheduling it all up. So I can't believe that it's just right around the corner here, all of this stuff, and very, very excited to get into the speed week that is 2021. So that does it for the NASCAR Cup Series side of things in terms of news. We can move down to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Kyle, we've got a bit of a nice one here, a happy one, a feel-good story here. Landon Castle, one of the fan favorites, I'd say. He's going to be returning to JD Motorsports in the number 4 car for the full Xfinity Series season. Bravo, JD Motorsports. You get a round of applause from both of us here. Very, very excited to see Landon Castle back behind the wheel of a very solid entry there in the Xfinity Series. Remember, Ross Chastain made his kind of mark on the Xfinity Series in this car with this team, and now look where he is in the number 42 car for Chip Ganassi Racing in the Cup Series. So just goes to show you that even some of these mid-pack teams in the Xfinity Series, some of these drivers do have the talent and have what it takes to make it to the Cup Series level. And Landon Castle has proven that on multiple occasions when he's been in the Cup Series. And he hasn't had that big shot, but this past season when he got passed over by Quinn Hell for the number 00 car to be a back marker, it left a lot of people with raised eyebrows, and rightly so after what we've seen this past season. And Landon Castle gets to go back down to the Xfinity Series, a more competitive ride. He can go out there, prove himself once again, getting consistent top 20 finishes, a top 15, maybe even a top 10 here or there, depending on the race. We'll see what happens. But Landon Castle, very happy to have him back in the Xfinity Series in the number 4, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm a big Landon Castle guy. I know you are as well. So after the way that he lost his ride last year, and yes, it was a backmarker ride in the Cup Series, but it was a ride nonetheless. And the way that he lost it to somebody that basically has no experience, and you look at Landon Castle, and every single place he's gone, he's improved the level of competition at that team. So him landing on his feet here after a season off with the team that he used to be at in JD Motorsports is very exciting, because you look back and the last time he had a full season there in 2014 with JD Motorsports, 2015 he ran most of the year, but he ran every single race for JD Motorsports in 2014. He finished 12th in points in JD Motorsports equipment, which is not easy to do. So the guy's got talent. Long gone are the days of him being a Hendrick development driver or anything like that. But the guy's bounced around a lot, and he's still a fantastic race car driver. Hopefully, I'm still holding out hope that he can somehow get back to at least a moderately competitive ride, if not in the Cup Series at a lower level. And getting back with JD Motorsports probably starts that process. And now you look at JD Motorsports, and these last few years, they've really kind of ran like 1 or 2 full-time guys, but then a massive rotation of other guys. This year, you've got 3 full-time guys already announced in Jeffrey Earnhardt, Landon Castle, and Colby Howard now. They've got the 6 car, which is what the number that they've run in the past. I don't know if they'll keep that number, but you've got the 6 car still there, TBA. That's probably going to be their rotational car. But JD Motorsports going with 3 full-time drivers, you haven't seen that in a bit. And yeah, it's kind of funny as well, because the last time Landon Castle was with JD Motorsports, his teammate was Jeffrey Earnhardt at JD Motorsports, and Jeffrey Earnhardt is back with that team this year as well.
Yeah.
And
Circle.
excited to see what they can do this season. Hopefully Landon Castle, as you mentioned there, can pick up some sneaky top 15s, maybe grab a top 10 here or there this season, because he's a fan favorite. There's a lot of people that like him, and I hope he does well this year.
But for me, Landon Castle reminds me a lot of David Reagan. I think there's a lot of correlation between the two guys, just in terms of their compete level, just their actual driving talent. They haven't necessarily had that big shot. Reagan more so because he was with Roush at the Cup Series level, almost made the playoffs as well that one year. I mean, he was a pretty solid guy. And then kind of as the years went on, after that 2011 stint where he got the infamous Daytona 500 penalty when Trevor Bayne won, and then comes back in the later race in the summer and wins it. So I mean, David Reagan has had his fair share, and Landon Castle, I feel like, just is that one step behind. But just in terms of how their career path has gone, I just like to think of them in similar capacity. Maybe the stats aren't there to necessarily justify that, but that's just my personal opinion on that. But Landon Castle, definitely a fun guy to be watching on and off the track. He's a great personality, and I'm really, really excited to see him back in the Xfinity Series in a somewhat competitive car, adding that mix into that midfield battle that we're expecting to be very solid.
It's a car that can compete in the 15 to 20 range. It's one of the I'd say higher end teams of that kind of mid pack, as I rep the Tommy Joe Martin shirt as well.
Yeah, shout out Tommy Joe Martin.
Exactly. But yeah, like on their day, like we saw them a couple times last year pick up top 10s. So when you've got a guy as solid as Landon Castle, he's been out for a year, but I don't think that really matters all that much. I'm excited to see what he can do, and yeah, I'm expecting probably some surprising results from at least him this season, if not the whole team.
Very much that's hopefully the case for Landon Castle and JD Motorsports. We move on here to a couple of other little Xfinity Series news. Ryan Ellis will race select Xfinity Series events for BJ McLeod Motorsports in the number 99 this upcoming season. A filler driver that's going to be running sporadically throughout the season. Not too much to add on himself there. Then we've got Scott Borchetta, if I'm saying that correctly, unveils that he's going to be having a new Xfinity Series team for this upcoming season. Big Machine Racing under the Big Machine Vodka sponsorship, so that's going to be their primary sponsor for the season. Jade Buford will be the driver of the number 48 entry, but a little bit of an interesting caveat to it. He can't run the season opener at Daytona. He's not been approved by NASCAR standards, so they're going to have to try and find somebody else for the number 48 for their debut in the Xfinity Series, but we'll see who they decide to do for that. But Jade Buford will have the steering wheel for the rest of the season after that. So two interesting notes on the Xfinity Series side of things there. So what do you make of Ryan Ellis and the newly made Big Machine Racing team?
Yeah, firstly on Ryan Ellis, first of all, not the defenseman for the Nashville Predators. I know he gets that a lot on Twitter, but no, it's nice to see him get back behind the wheel. We know that he hasn't been in a seat for a while here, just because he's been doing some stuff behind the scenes on social media for Go Fast Racing. Yep. He's going to get back in, going to run some races with Go Fast this year in Cup. And because of that relationship there with Go Fast, BJ McLeod, all those guys, it's going to be exciting to see him back behind the wheel in Xfinity as well with BJ McLeod there. So nice to see him get back behind the wheel there. And for Jade Buford, well, the tie-in, I guess, or the transition is he ran a race this year in the number 6 with JD Motorsports at Road America. And he's a road course guy. He's a guy who's got background in running road courses, and that's why he's obviously not allowed to run at Daytona to start, because that's not usually where you want somebody making their first ever oval attempt in NASCAR. So that makes sense. I don't know if they'll go ahead and try to make the show or anything like that to start the year, or if they'll just skip on it and wait for some races afterwards. But when I look at it here, I don't hate the move in terms of getting a guy who has a specific skill set and one that you can usually take advantage of, more so in the Xfinity Series, probably than when you look at the Cup Series. So excited to see what they can do this year. Anytime you can get a new team added is always going to be fun to see. So nice to see a new team added, and nice to see Ryan Ellis get back behind the wheel as well.
Very positive episode we've got going on today, Kyle. We've got a lot of great little news and notes throughout today's show, and I don't think that really stops with this next one. As we've got Taylor Gray. I believe he's the brother of Tanner Gray, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. The younger brother, right? Taylor Gray will compete in 7 Truck Series races this upcoming season. Chad Johnston, a very familiar face on the Cup Series side of things, will be the crew chief. So quite the fall from grace. I don't want to be too hard on Chad Johnston here, but I mean, to go from the 42, let's not forget 2017 wasn't that long ago when he was the top of the pit box in Kyle Larson's best season in the Cup Series. And now, after the events that's happened this past season, Matt Kenseth struggling in the 42 car, Johnston getting fired, hasn't found a Cup Series or even Xfinity Series, a program that he can be a part of. Is going down to a part-time schedule with Taylor Gray in the 7 Truck Series races they've got for this upcoming season. So Taylor Gray, a little bit in the negative news over the past week, got fined $1,000 for releasing a video on social media of him just on his phone. This is not the Brad Keselowski tweet thing that we saw back in 2012 at Daytona when the NASCAR kind of shot off on Twitter when he's tweeting from the cockpit of his car when Juan Montoya hit the jet dryer. That is not the case here. Taylor Gray was going about 180 miles an hour and was driving around Daytona and was filming himself just basically going woohoo. So he got fined. It violated some policies, as you would imagine, and he gets rewarded in some senses here with 7 part-time Truck Series races for this next season. So, but Taylor Gray is a pretty solid prospect, very interesting one in the light of Tanner Gray, who's done some decent stuff for the Truck Series side of things. So what do you make of the move here for Taylor Gray?
Yeah, it's a move that when we talked last time, when we were talking about Haley Deegan in the number 1, we figured that they were making it the number 1 so that they could go ahead and rebrand Haley to have her own truck and then keep the 17 truck as a third entry for any of the other stuff. And some of that other stuff is Taylor Gray as well. And he's kind of that next kind of prospect coming up. We know the Gray family has investment with David Gilliland Racing, also coming from the drag racing side. So shout out over there. That's where my roots lie. So I got to get that in while I can. But no, when I look at it, yeah, it makes sense. You got to get some of your young prospects some starts, and he's had some flashes in ARCA East and some of the ARCA races he's run. So yeah, anytime you can get another prospect in with what you would imagine to be a competitive entry is always exciting. And we'll probably see Chad Johnston stick around for some other races. Probably David Reagan's going to run a couple here and there. We saw that happen last year. I'm sure he'll probably run a couple this year. Maybe somebody else, we don't know. But for Chad Johnston, it's obviously stepped down. But when you look at the long-term play of it, you're getting with an organization that's got a lot of Ford development prospects. So if you can build that relationship, we've seen many crew chiefs come up the ladder with plenty of different drivers and prospects when they've had something go down in the Cup Series. Maybe the results weren't there. They take a step back, they go back down the ladder and work their way up alongside somebody. I could see that definitely being the case for somebody like Chad Johnston here and getting with Ford, getting with some of the prospects and seeing what happens there at that level.
For sure. When you look at someone like Rudy Fugle, you see that relationship down in the Truck Series, and now look where he is crew chiefing for William Byron in the Cup Series this upcoming season.
And he's there because of that relationship, right?
Exactly.
They wouldn't be making that hire if it wasn't for that previous relationship between the two. So it can definitely play dividends in the long run. Wasn't anything noteworthy opening up for Johnston in the Cup Series. So go ahead, go back down. Part-time schedule. Don't need to worry about it too much. Yeah, I guess so.
It is a fun little experiment that we've seen this season, in this off season, where we've seen the Cup Series guys that we've kind of come to know on the crew chiefing side of things and on the driving side of things as well, go down into the lower series, mainly the Truck Series, where they feel like they have to just kind of restart their career in some senses. And I mean, Chad Johnston is definitely a very solid crew chief. Don't get like he's pretty damn good. And I think Taylor Gray can do a whole lot worse than Chad Johnston. So excited to see what that pair can do this upcoming season. That does it for the NASCAR side of things in terms of news. We can quickly talk about a thing for IndyCar as they've got the Grand Prix of Alabama being rescheduled from April 11th to April 18th. This change means that the race will be featured on NBC's main network. So that means a record 9 races this upcoming season will be held on NBC's main network for the IndyCar series. So a good marketing decision here for NBC to make this scheduling change. Why not put it on the main network? Good change for IndyCar as well, just to try and get as many races on the main network as you can while you don't have NASCAR trying to interfere with that as the season winds down. So a good marketing ploy, good scheduling ploy here for IndyCar and NBC.
Yeah, definitely. And if you can make a small schedule change like that and have it go to a main network like that, it just makes too much sense, especially for a season opener when you've got that many high-profile drivers in there. Like when you've got Jimmy Johnson making his IndyCar debut, and that's going to be on the main network, like that's pretty interesting. And it's going to be at a track that they're most familiar with because that's a main testing track as well.
Yes.
Like it makes a lot of sense there. So I'm a big fan of this move for IndyCar.
Definitely. Not anything else on the IndyCar front for today's episode. We've got a couple of little interesting Formula One stuff we can start to
We do
get
also
into.
have a nice little tidbit from Bob Pockris if you want me to sprinkle that in a little bit. Nothing huge, but NASCAR did announce that they'll use the low downforce package, high horsepower, at all road courses this year, including the Busch Clash and the Daytona road course, because last year, of course, they used the high downforce package at the Daytona road course, and it was a bit of a dud. We didn't enjoy it as much as we maybe thought we would.
Oh my God.
So going low downforce, high horsepower, 750 horsepower on the bank. We got 750 horsepower again on the high banks of Daytona. Like, that's gonna. I know it's not gonna be crazy.
You're getting close now.
But
one step further,
sprinkling it.
Put it all over the place. The 750 horsepower package. Just it's not too hard. Just take off the spoiler and just increase the engine. I'm just saying that they are listening a little bit here. I'll give them that. All right, that's put me in a great mood.
Hey, I'm saying, like, we got a very positive episode.
This is great news. Great news.
We got a lot of like little things where it's some fan favorite drivers getting back in. Like we got a lot of positive stuff, and there's been a lot of negative news over the past year. So
yeah, this is nice.
I'm very okay with these kind of episodes.
Yeah, for sure. So that does it for the NASCAR side of things. Now, I would say we'll keep you updated if there's any more breaking news. We never know on this show. We've seen it happen before where they want to surprise us with something major. But for Formula One here, Kyle, we've got Jenson Button, a very familiar name, a former world champion in Formula One, the 2009 champion for Braun GP. Returns to his former team, not Braun, Williams Racing. It is a great combination here. I think this is a match that fits perfectly with both of these guys. A very well-known guy in Jenson Button and a team trying to prove themselves with a young driver lineup with George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Jenson Button will become a senior advisor for the team in a multi-year agreement. He last drove for the team in his rookie season back when he was 20 years old, back when I was born, back when we were both born in 2000. What a blast from the past. But yeah, 20 years ago, 21 years ago, I guess it is now, since Jenson Button was at that team. I don't know how long he raced actually afterwards with Williams, but 20 years since was it the 1 year? So yeah. 21 years since he was back at that team. Very, very excited to see what Jenson Button kind of has to add to that racing organization over there with Williams. We've seen him on the broadcasting side of things with Sky Sports periodically throughout the season when he wants to add a bit of news or notes here and there. Nico Rosberg does something similar for that network as well. So Jenson Button, a great fit over there for Williams, and hopefully this does work out to be a perfect match made in heaven. What do you make of the move, Kyle?
Yeah, it seems like it's a good one. Like, I don't see the downside to it because you get a very popular name back associated with the team, formerly associated with the team, although it was for the one season at the beginning of his career. But the one thing that does hurt a little bit is we got the rumors and actually got the confirmation that if not for COVID and everything, Jenson Button was going to do some IndyCar tests with McLaren and even run some races going into 2021. With this move and everything, it seems like that's probably not going to happen anymore because I can't see a Williams senior advisor racing in IndyCar for McLaren. That just kind of seems like a lot of hurdles to jump through. But in terms of Williams and their competitive level and everything like that, it's just a great move. It's somebody who's extremely knowledgeable, of course. Somebody, as I said, formerly associated with the team. So I don't really see any downsides to this move. It's a very good one. But if we want to make a little bit of a tie-in to NASCAR and everything that we've been talking about here, in 2001, in 2000, he had the one season with Williams there alongside Ralph Schumacher. That was his teammate that season. 2001, Williams decided not to bring Jenson Button back. He went over to Benetton. Into that number 2 seat steps Juan Pablo Montoya. So there's your little NASCAR tie-in for today.
That's a great one. Jenson Button, a household name in Formula One, very well known, and a great personality for the sport. Very happy that he's going to be an integral part over there at Williams. And a last little bit of news and notes for today's episode, one that came out recently today. 16-year-old Maya, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce your last name, Maya. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know how to say it, but has been named the first female member of the Ferrari Driver Academy. So very, very cool. 16 years old, a very young prospect. I've never heard of her before today's episode, but if she's making the the Ferrari Driver Academy, you're doing something right. Very, very excited to see how her career progresses from here. It's a great opportunity over there at Ferrari. They pumped out amazing talents, as widely known in Formula One, and hopefully Maya is the next one that we can be watching for years to come. So apologies for not knowing how to pronounce your last name, but this is a pretty cool announcement. First female. I mean, it's great to have women representation in the sport. We've seen a little bit over the past week as well. Gracie Trotter, Jamie Little and the broadcasting side of things. Now we have a new member to add to that very illustrious group, I'd say, very select group with women in motorsports. So I don't know if you have anything to add on the move here, Kyle, but if you do.
Just finally here. I kind of forgot about this a little bit. The Girls on Track campaign that Ferrari was doing, where they had I believe it was 20 drivers from all over the world, female drivers, prospects coming up, and basically had them all compete in the same competition to see who was the top one, and then whoever came out on top would get one of those coveted spots in the Ferrari Driver Academy. So a great job by the FDA there to promote diversity in motorsports, to go out and do something where they get a female driver into their academy, and will support them financially as they go along in their career there. Starting in F4 this season, we'll see where things go from there, but fantastic initiative from them. I hope we see it from more teams and everything as we go along, because one of the big hurdles for female representation in motorsports is just kind of the entry point. We know motorsports is very expensive to get into, and if it's something where you look at it and you're already going to be kind of looked at as different or anything like that when you're going in, it's not really something that I can see you would maybe want to get into. So if you have these opportunities for things like Ferrari driver academies or any kind of driver academies or anything like that, where it makes it more accepting to go out and try it and all these kind of things, it's great to see, and hopefully we'll follow. I don't want to even try to butcher the last name, but Maya Woog or Woog, I'm not sure. It's Spanish and then Belgian and Dutch, three languages that I will absolutely butcher. But it's going to be great to watch her progression as she goes along in her career, and hopefully she can break barriers as she goes along, starting in F4 for this upcoming year.
100%. That does it for all the news and notes for today's episode, Kyle. A nice one, a very well-rounded episode. Yeah. We've got a lot of different areas of discussion, NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One to end it all. So we can move into the trivia portion of today's episode. All right, welcome to the quiz portion of the episode. We're going to test our knowledge on the Cup Series race winners from 2000 to 2009. A little bit before our time on most of these, but as you can see on my screen here, we've got the race winners. We just have to write in the name on who we think won these. We can just go whatever name we want, whenever we want, and it will just place it in. We don't have to go in any sort of chronological order, or else we would be absolutely killing ourselves here if we did that. But we've got lots of different race winners, so we're having to go back in time. We have to put our mind in about over a decade ago now. We have to go back in time and think who was good at that period in time from 2000 to 2009. Who was the greatest driver of that decade? So, all right. Let me just get this set up ready here. I have to get the keyboard a little closer to myself.
It is time, 10 minutes. So
10 minutes. So there's no cheating here. You can see on my screen that I don't have anything else open. Oh my gosh. Do you know where you want to kind of start here? Do you want to be listing out some names and I'll just be typing them?
I feel like collaborative, but
all right.
Let's see.
All right.
I don't know. Let you just get like the big hitters out of the way first, and then you really start scraping the brain.
All right. All right. Are you ready? 10 minutes on the clock.
Let's
starting now. Okay. Jimmy Johnson is an easy one.
Yeah.
All right. First one.
Gordon. And it's only last name as well, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got Robbie Gordon.
Perfect. Nice. Edwards.
Yeah.
Kenseth.
Yeah.
Biffle.
Those
Bush.
Roush boys, Kyle, both Bushes, nice.
Okay. We'll put Mark Martin in there because he won a couple. If I type in
Earnhardt.
Junior, okay, I have to put in Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess he did win a couple there in 2000. That's
Who's at 34 that we don't have yet?
34.
Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick. Down there.
Um,
I'll put in Jeff Burton because I know he won a couple. Oh, Jeff Burton.
Newman.
Yep, Newman. Newman won quite a few actually.
Yeah. Who's at 34 that we don't have?
Who else was good here? Stewart.
Stewart. Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where it quickly declines. Okay.
Hamlin. Casey Mears won one.
Yeah.
Hamlin.
McMurray.
JJ Yealy won one, I think. Oh.
No, I don't think so.
No, he didn't. McMurray, yeah.
Yeah. Sterling Marlin. Okay. This is where you start to hit the wall.
Okay.
2009. See, I feel like there might be a couple of young guys that sneak in.
Labonte.
Oh yeah, the Labantes. Yeah.
Gotta get the Labantes in there. Ricky Rudd. Yep.
Nice. Did Ken Schrader win any?
Let's see. No, he did not.
No. Okay. See, you start all nice and you get all these easy ones out of the way, and then you quickly hit the wall. Okay. There's still a couple double-digit wins in there. Nice, Brian Vickers. In those 2000s. Okay.
Oh. Oops. Yep, Montoya got one.
Those one-win guys are gonna kill.
Truex.
Oh yeah. Duh. Casey Kane.
Yep, he was a big one. Yep, that's the 11-win one. Okay, we're almost done the left column.
Jeremy Mayfield.
Yes, 4 wins. I'm
just trying to think of defunct teams. I'm gonna be honest. Who else drove for some? No. Because there's also probably going to be 1 or 2 guys like in 2000 that was basically it for them. We still got 1 double-digit win in there.
Dale Jarrett.
Nice.
Dale Jarrett. Did Rusty Wallace win any? Why am I on caps?
Your caps lock is all over the place.
Rusty Wallace?
Yeah. 2009.
Oh my God.
2009. So I feel like the 1-win guys might be easier than the 2 wins or anything.
We're not even halfway, so we have a little bit of time here to think.
Reagan's Talladega stuff was at the early 2010s, right?
Yeah, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any weird
Almirola,
super speedway winners? Yeah, Almirola, that's too early for him,
Laney?
right? No. What other name? David Stremme?
Oops.
No.
How do I spell it?
No, I think you had it right.
What if I just put in Bodine? Nope.
No. What other weird teams do we got here?
I'm just trying to think back. That's
It was 2009.
It's not just 2009.
No, I'm trying to think like up until like if there was any young guys in 2000. That's not Keselowski, is it?
Logano won one, I think. Logano, yep.
Keselowski?
Yeah, he won the Talladega one, so
in 09. So
yeah. That's weird. That's weird to see those 2 names on the 1-win column now.
Yeah. Is there anyone else in that in that are active still?
2008 was dominated by Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Carl Edwards. They had like eight and 9 wins each. Like, so it's hard to think of any other winners that year. 2007.
That's too. Was there any road course ringers that won?
I don't know. Who had 4 wins over that time? God.
Okay. I feel good. Okay, I at least feel good about the amount of names that we have right here.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Who else could there be?
I don't know.
Who picked up a couple of wins? Who just won a couple of races? Okay. Hendrick, Johnson, Earnhardt, Gordon.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about
Kane.
Mears.
We got Mears already. We got Vickers already.
Yeah. We got Labonte already.
Did John Andretti? He was the 90s, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. We got 320 left. I want to get at least like 2 more.
Who drove the Coors Light cars?
Like that, I think that was like David Stremme, Sterling Marlin.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This is tough.
I'm trying to think because, like, I think we got the Penske guys, right?
No.
Oh, Scott Riggs. That's a good shout. Oh, Ricky Craven.
Yep.
Darlington.
Yeah.
Who the hell drove for Pontiac?
Nope, not Menard, not yet.
Not yet, no. Was there any weird RCR guys? We already got Burton. Boyer?
Yep. Can't forget. Oops.
You got a silent P in there. Okay, who else has retired recently that could? I think we got.
Oh my gosh.
I think we got the Ganassi guys. There's a couple of 4 wins in there.
Sorensen never won.
Is it Owen at the end? I don't think he won though.
No.
2-minute warning. Okay.
Sauter, nope.
Ooh.
Speed, nope.
Jeff Green? I don't know.
Reigns, nope. Reagan.
We already tried Reagan. Who else was at Roush that would have done like
Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle,
Yeah.
Jamie McMurray, Matt Kenseth. I couldn't tell you anybody else really. Jeff Burton was there at 1.2.
There's got to be at least one like super speedway guy that we're forgetting, right?
I could not tell you anything probably before 06, really. Like I feel like there's going to be some weird names in there that we just don't know.
There's for sure going to be a couple like, oh damn, how do we not get them? Okay, we've only got 9 left, so I feel good about that at least. Yeah, we got Vickers and stuff.
Oh my god.
I feel like there's going to be guys.
I don't know.
30 seconds. Okay.
Allison.
What other teams? What other teams?
No.
What other teams?
Dude, I don't think we're gonna get anything else. This is tough.
The 4. Oh, no, I feel good about the number that we have there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
For being 9 years old at the oldest, that's almost an 80%. Like,
Okay,
that's good.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
What are we getting here? 5 seconds.
Run out the
3,
clock.
2.
We're not giving up.
1. Elliott.
Bill Elliott.
Elliott.
Michael Waltrip. Oh my God.
Oh.
Sadler.
On the 01 Daytona 500, how did we not get Waltrip? How did we not get Waltrip? Oh, yeah, Nemechek, yeah. Rudiman in
Steve
09.
Park, I shoulda
That's
got.
right. Damn. Oh, yes. Oh,
So yeah, these
Yeah.
were names.
yeah, we should have known. I should have typed in Elliott just for fun.
Bobby Hamilton, he was the super speedway guy I was thinking
Jerry
about.
Nadeau, your guy.
Yeah, I forgot he won.
We could have got all those. We actually.
Those were all gettable.
Johnny Benson. Oh, Johnny Benson. Oh, man.
Oh, you went the wrong Johnny. Okay, to be fair, the average is 57%, so I feel way better now.
Yeah, it's not bad. I feel like we could have
Okay.
done. Yeah, we could have got 100%. I feel like on that, to be honest. All right. Do you want to go for another quiz?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Play quiz. Let's go.
Daytona 500 winners. Can we name them all the way back to 1959? Here we go.
Okay.
Busch.
See.
All right.
Why'd you start with Kurt Busch?
I thought of 2017 first.
Okay, Hamlin
Waltrip.
for the last two.
Hamlin. I'm not forgetting you, Mikey, this time.
Austin Dillon.
Yep.
Just get all the petties out of the way.
Kenseth. Petty.
Um,
What if I typed in? What? No,
Earnhardt.
Not Red Byron. Yeah, Earnhardt. Johnson.
Pearson's got a.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Pearson. One.
Just the one. I didn't. Okay.
Allison.
Yeah.
Harvick.
I'm trying to think of all the old guys.
McMurray. Bain. 2008 Newman. 2015 was Logano. 2002
Roberts. Fireball Roberts.
Waltrip. Nope, I already
You already have
Waltrip.
Waltrip. Did Ernie Irvin win one?
Nope.
IRVAN.
Oops, yeah, sorry.
AN.
Yep, he did. After all my spelling mistakes.
Mid-90s, Jarrett.
Yep. Labonte, just in case. Nope.
2002. Who won it in between Waltrip?
I don't know.
Ward Burton? Or unless we already have Burton?
Yeah, Burton.
Okay.
Yeah, Ward Burton.
Okay. 94, 95.
What if I typed in Kolwicki?
I don't think he did, no. Who else was good around then? Did Ricky Rudd ever win it? I don't think so.
Let's type it in. Nope.
Some of those 80s guys, too.
Schrader. Nope.
No. 94, 90. So, other than that, it's just the early, like the 80s and 70s.
Yeah, that's
So
going to be
those
tough.
are the names that I'm trying to think of here. Ooh.
Buddy Baker.
Nice. Buddy Baker. That's a good shout. Who else? Okay, so 94, 95, and 90 for the 90s guys.
Man,
94,
oh man.
95. I feel like we're forgetting an obvious name at least. Oh, spelling it. There you go. Nice. I forget Cale Yarborough for that long. Who else is up there and wins?
This isn't bad. This isn't bad.
How the hell did we forget Cale Yarborough for that long?
I don't know.
The 94-95 is what's really bothering me.
Oh my god. I'm trying to think, man. I'm just trying to think so hard right now.
Okay.
Mark Martin never won the 500.
No.
What if I? No, Childress never won.
Who are some of those early guys?
Cindric.
No.
Uh,
Because Hendrick was like Bodine and Waltrip early, and we already guessed Bodine, and we already got the Waltrips. Joe Gibbs, we got those early ones. Penske, we got all those. So yeah, it's all the old teams that don't exist anymore. Andretti.
Elliott's got to have one. Yeah.
Yeah. Andretti. Okay, who else was around with like Bill Elliott and those guys? We got Ernie Irvin. We guessed Ricky Rudd. Those mid-90s ones. Who are those mid-90s?
I have no idea.
Man.
This is tough.
Okay, the fact that we're only missing 11 spots, I feel good about.
I hate that we're not getting this column filled out. We're almost done this one too. It's pretty close. 1990 as well.
We got more in the 80s than we did in the 90s right now.
Yeah. Famous drivers. I'm just trying to think of that.
Yeah. I don't think we're getting any more in the 60s or 70s.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we already guessed Bodine.
I was on the last one. I'm just trying to think on the last one if we missed any. We're missing 2 in these 2 columns. So
you already guessed Red Byron, right?
He would have won the first one, yeah, and
yeah,
he didn't. So
Lee Petty obviously for that one, but missing 10 and 3 of them are in the 90s. Who are those 90s guys?
I don't know.
That one's going to make me mad. I already know it. I can't, what teams could they be? Nothing that's still around. Yeah, no. I think we already got, yeah. Okay. I'm content with where we're at least.
This stinks.
94, 95.
This is tough.
94, 95. Who won it in 94 and 95? Okay, Allison, Jarrett, something, Jarrett, Gordon, Earnhardt, Gordon, Jarrett, Waltrip.
I don't know.
Harry Gant. Oh, Derek Cope, for crying out loud. We were making... Okay, that's a buzzer beater right there.
Marlin!
Sterling! Oh, we forgot Sterling Marlin.
Oh,
AJ Foyt, we forgot.
Okay, the rest of them we're never going to get.
We forgot Sterling Marlin. Oh, Parsons as well.
Yeah, that's tough.
How did we forget Sterling Marlin and AJ Foyt? Oh, man.
Both of those are yeah, but you know what? That's actually
okay, what? I'm just glad I got...
85%, average score is 52.
I'm just glad we got the buzzer beater Derek Cope, because if that came up after talking about it literally earlier this week, I would have freaked out. All right. Do you want to try one more? I think we can squeeze one more in before the Leaf game starts.
Let's try one more. Why not? Ended on a nice 3. All right. Let's do this one. Can you name the NASCAR drivers who had the most race wins in each season? Going all the way back to 1949 for this one as well, but it is still current.
Hell yeah.
2020. All right. 7 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, this is going to be tight.
All right. Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, get Petty out of the way as well.
Petty. Oops. Gordon.
Okay. Nice.
Bush.
Earnhardt, if
Harvick.
you haven't already.
Earnhardt. Only two?
Waltrip.
Yeah, wow. Whoa.
Yeah. Allison's.
Yep.
Yeah. Elliott.
They do the hash, the slashes stuff, so it is a little easier on that front.
I don't know if you guessed Wallace already.
I'm not forgetting
One of the
Yarbrough this
slashes.
time.
Yeah.
Pearson. Okay.
Truex won
Keselowski.
one of the seasons, right?
Yep, he did. 2017 and 2019.
Yeah.
Logano.
Nice.
2013.
Did Kenseth have the most 1 year?
Yes, he did in 2013. 2010, Hamlin.
Nice.
2011, Stewart gets a nod.
Edwards
did the most in 2008.
Yeah.
Casey Kane.
Oh, good one.
Newman also had the most wins.
Oh, look at you. Oh, this guy's buzzing.
2005. Sure.
2005. Who was the title
Biffle.
challenger? Oh, look at you go.
Let's put Red Byron in here. Yeah, all right.
Hey, there you go.
Flock.
Pearson as well.
Hey, all right. Fonty Flock. Fonty Flock. What a name. What a name, Fonty Flock. Oh, my God.
That's awesome.
Thomas.
Nice.
No, we already did Elliott.
Pearson.
I did Person.
Oh, sorry. Did Fireball Roberts?
Did Burton get any? No.
Roberts. No. Okay. Midnight. Ernie Irvin maybe.
Nope.
I can't. No, he didn't have any full healthy seasons.
Did Cope ever get it? No, he didn't.
We got the Allisons. Kolwicki. No.
I put Allison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 93 and 94.
Again with these stupid 90s. I don't know. Sadler never got that. No.
Mark Martin?
No.
No.
Mark letting me down.
Oh,
LeBlanty's got to have one. Whoa.
No. Bodine in 86 maybe?
Jarrett. Yep.
Nice.
Bodine. No. 10-win season there in 1993 as well, so that's a pretty significant number.
Who are some of those names? Okay. What about some of those?
Thinking back to the 500 thing that we just did.
Did Foyt ever do a full season?
Let's try it. Nope.
No.
Andretti, let's see if you ever did anything.
No. See, 69.
Weatherly.
Nice.
Baker.
Oh.
This isn't bad. We're close.
We're really close. We've got 3 minutes left.
3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Oh my God.
Okay.
We can do this.
Who could be 93 and 94? Because we already got the Allisons guessed.
Did we guess Gant? No.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. Phil Elliott, Ernie Irvin, we tried.
Any ever? No. Wallace. Yes.
Rusty Wallace, man. Okay. 86.
We're close. We're so close.
Who was in the mix with Waltrip, Elliott, Earnhardt? Those guys. We already tried Bodine.
It's a one-off, though, right? Like, this is just a one-off guy.
That's the thing.
Have we?
We would have got it with Baker if it was Buddy Baker.
I'm just making sure we don't have any repeats that I could type in. We don't. Dale Jarrett never had a winning season, hey? That's
No.
interesting.
Who could 86 be? Because I don't think we're getting any of the early ones anymore.
I mean, that's tough.
Minute 30.
Oh, come on. We're 4 away.
We're 4 away from perfect. 86.
17 wins in 1969. So this guy has to be at least in the top 20.
Unless it was a one-off.
Who won 69? That's a prominent year in history.
Who's Parsons? No. That would have been a good one. Oh, it's going to be one of those weird names that we probably should have paid more attention to in the 50s for the Daytona 500 winner. But 86. We've got literally everything up until 70 except for 86. Who could it be? Who the hell could it be?
7 wins that year.
See, that's the thing, because it's only 7 as well.
Labonte is really not.
We tried Labonte.
Harry Labonte, really? He didn't get the most wins?
15 seconds.
This sucks. Okay. This sucks. Oh my God.
We already.
I'll take this.
Oh, that one's. It's gonna bother me so much. Though.
All right.
Who's 86? Okay, I feel good about this though. No, I thought
Tim Richmond. Oh.
Tim Richmond, Hendrick Motorsports. Bobby Isaac, Rex White. Okay.
Oh yeah, Bobby Isaac. Yeah.
Tim. I didn't realize Tim Richmond had that many wins.
Wow, he beat the likes of Elliott Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was good, man. He was good.
Hey, 94%. That's
I
solid.
feel good about that.
That's really solid. Really, really solid. I'm happy with how that all turned out.
I am too. I feel good about that.
3 quizzes done and dusted. I'll
not too shabby.
Stop sharing the screen now. Very, very productive episode here. We tested our NASCAR knowledge to the best of our abilities, with what Sporcle had.
I feel good about it, yeah.
Yeah, we did a pretty solid job, I'd say, with those. But
I'm disappointed I forgot about Tim Richmond.
I'm disappointed on the Sterling Marlin ones from the 500. But
wow.
Yeah.
How did we forget Sterling Marlin?
I know. It does blow your mind on some of these that just trip your brain. But and that was a fun thing to do. We'll probably have to do that in the future sometime. We'll maybe come up with our own quiz.
We might have to mix in a couple short ones or something.
Yeah.
As the season goes along.
Well, maybe test our own, get some questions from ourselves here or something like that, and ask the other person, go versus maybe. Try it out. Well, we'll try and stick to some categories or something. Okay. But yeah.
I feel good about the fact that we were 4 names away from getting perfect on the most, that's impressive. Most wins in a season.
I'll take it.
Throughout NASCAR history, I'll take that.
Yeah, I will too. Very productive episode, I'd say. We got to talk about a lot of different things. It was a fun episode, an upbeat episode today.
Very fun one.
Yeah, and we've got a fun rest of the week kind of in store. We've got Monday coming up. The episode will be released on Tuesday now. We're going to kind of switch to that, I think, with the Tuesdays and Fridays. It just seems to work best with our school schedule that we've got going on as of right now. Yeah. But we will still have everything in the world of motorsports caught up for you guys. We'll be previewing the Rolex 24 over the next week as well, so stay tuned for that. We'll also be doing kind of our silly season predictions for 2022 ? We'll see on that, but stay tuned. We've got plenty of previews and everything yet to come on the green flag here for the upcoming 2021 NASCAR season for all 3 motorsports series there for the trucks, Xfinity, and the Cup Series. So stay tuned here. We're the home of everything in the world of motorsports. So make sure to go follow us on Instagram at the green flag. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter at the green flag pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All the links to our social channels be in the description, and make sure to give a like on the video as well if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Any final thoughts, Kyle, before we wrap up?
Just finally, it was fun doing the quiz stuff. I hope we can mix that in a little bit more as the season goes along. But yeah, it just continues to ramp up. We got WRC. I was checking that out a little bit. some of the highlights this morning. Elfyn Evans out on top of Monte Carlo after a couple of days there. We got Rolex 24 coming up. We got Roar before the 24 this weekend, and then previewing the race, of course, next week. Just one more thing. Shout out Tommy Joe Martins once again.
Of course.
Going to be repping that, hoping for some good results this year once again. But hopefully we can do some more of the quiz stuff as the year goes along. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, these fun little things we've been able to do off the off season has been a real treat. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. But for this episode, I've been Lukas Wacker. He's been Kyle Cushman. Signing off for now. We will talk to you on Tuesday now.